Hi everybody, welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I am your host Josh, and with me are my two co-hosts.
It's your boy Chase.
And it's your boy Nick.
Hi stream, my name is Tibi.
Hi Tibi.
Hi.
How's it going, Rose?
Hello. Pretty good.
Thanks for having me. So, Adrian and Critico, you can find me with that name at pretty much everywhere. I work for oneofus.net, or I do reviews for oneofus.net along with Rose. But I also host my own show, We Be Watching Films, with my friend Jeff, and we're really trying to, get that going somewhere. So you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you listen to a podcast. If you look up We Be Watching Films, you'll find us.
I've always watched streams like my whole life, basically. Well, not my whole life, but like the last like 10 since I was born. But yeah, we got into it together. It was Cedes' dream to start streaming and do YouTube and stuff like that. So that's why we're doing it. Twitch.tv/babygirlcedes. Oh. Well, I do have my own channel. I followed you on it, but I don't stream on it.
If you see a name that's just like why, that's TV.
Yeah,
that's probably TV.
He's really good at rocket food, so if you bully him enough, maybe he'll start streaming.
I streamed like Walking Dead in the past just for a couple of friends, but that's basically it.
Yeah, I also contribute reviews to One of Us, and I hang out at the Double Toasted fan page on Facebook. And other than that, that's kind of it. I kind of don't have super huge presence outside of that. No one wants to listen to me.
That's not true.
I can't remember the last movie I saw.
I think it was. Didn't we do Summer of '85 together? Were you on that one?
I was not on that one, no. It was the other guy. I reviewed, you know what, that just popped up on oneofus.net, the new Kate Beckinsale film, Jolt, like her return to action. Yeah, check out that review. I was kind of the odd one out. I wasn't a big fan of it, but everyone seemed to have a good time. So what do I know? I think it's probably a good movie.
Yeah, it looks like the last one I did was Good on Paper. It was the Eliza Schlesinger semi-autobiographical comedy film that went really weird in the end.
I've never even heard of that one. I'll have to listen to that review.
Is it Lena Headey or is it Lena Headey?
Headey.
Headey. Okay.
So you're both wrong.
There's an L in her name.
Watch me be wrong.
Fuck, we're
I
both
swear
wrong.
I've heard it pronounced that way at least once. So
Actually, no, I think it is Headey for sure.
For all of you people, Cersei Lannister.
Yeah, that's who she is.
So I want to bring up the fact I don't know his name, but this is from the same director. I found this out after the fact. This is from the same director as a movie called Big Bad Wolves. Have any of you seen that? It's a Israeli film. So that is like a super dark comedy about the worst part of humanity. And this is like an action comedy that wants to be a comic book. I just found it fascinating. That's like, this is the same guy. That's wild to me. With all that said, I thought this was all right. I'm down to jump onto anything that has Michelle Yeoh in it because she's just such a badass. And you know, and any movie that's like let's cast Michelle Yeoh is okay in my book. The action in here, I kind of like that it ramps up. Like it starts with just like it's gonna be just kind of a standard fight. People are gonna get hurt. And then immediately goes into like slicing and people's heads getting crushed and ends off in a actually really satisfying climax. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but for the action that it had, I thought it was pretty fun. All that said, this clearly is trying to set up a world, maybe a couple sequels, and I feel like there's only room to improve. And that's pretty much how I felt about it.
I'll hold it for you, babe.
Oh, thank you. I really liked it. I think that the way it started kind of had you asking questions off the bat, so it's really easy to hook you in because you're like, oh my god, what is she doing? Who are these people? Why is she doing this? And the action scenes I thought were really creative. They had really cool ways of using the space wherever she was each time. It wasn't just kind of like your stereotypical punch, kick. You know, she was using bowling balls. Sorry about the spoiler, but I was like, yeah, I was like, this is so cool. And I'm not really one to like action movies. Y'all heard what I thought about Black Widow, but I think that's a completely different
Genre.
that's a different thing too. But for someone who's not like super into action movies, this did a good job of like making me want to know more. And I also think when you involve a kid who's very vulnerable, it's hard to not be like trying. You have to see where it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought the same things. Like, I thought it was pretty good overall. The acting was kind of like cheesy at times, maybe a little bit over the top, but what's it called? The action I think was the best part for me. Like, super creative fight scenes. The thing in the parking lot was really cool with like how they drove around. Yeah. Whoops.
I mean, you were vague.
It's vague enough, but yeah. Overall, I thought it was good.
I think I'm gonna be the sourpuss holdout on this one and just say I didn't really like it.
Damn.
Okay.
Now wait, Rose, you gotta. All right, go in. I'm gonna let you go in.
It
I
did
request
not,
elaboration.
didn't work for me at all. I
Okay.
remember just being blown away by the trailer and thinking, "Holy crap, this looks so cool!" And about 10 minutes in, I was just like, "Oh, oh no, no, never mind." It just it felt to me like every single one of the dark action comedy gangster whatever films that came out post Tarantino, blow up. Everyone wanted to try to ape that style, and it seems like this one was doing exactly that same thing. That also Netflix is very guilty of, appropriately enough, of just they look at things that are popular and say, well, hey, we can do that. We've got some money to throw around. Get this, get that, whatever. They'll watch it. Who cares? And yeah, it just felt like someone trying to homage a bunch of different movies and not very well.
But didn't you like when the giant tooth splattered that guy's head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make the movie for you?
No, that was dope.
They took some really great actors. 'Cause I don't think there's a bad actor in this movie, but most of them were bad in the movie. The dialogue was corny. Their performances were like very stilted and unnatural. I know they're trying to go for like a cool, stylized thing where everyone talks in like code words and just has this very disaffected, cold dialogue because they're all assassins. But it was just, I thought it was lame.
So I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. Everything you just said was true, but I think the execution was a lot of fun. And as soon as I was able to like turn my brain off, because like you've seen this movie before. Like I'm not gonna hold you. You've seen this movie before, but I do think the
Yeah,
execution of it.
even just this year, we reviewed a bunch of movies like this. We reviewed
Yeah.
stuff like Boss Level, stuff like
Mm.
Nobody. That this is definitely taking a lot of cues from movies like that.
But it's just for me at least, it was a lot of fun. Just the execution of it with the action scenes. You have some very creative solutions to like some fights and some predicaments that she finds herself in that I loved. And the dynamic between her and the kid was kind of funny, especially because she does take this very like kind motherly approach to her while she's killing everybody. And she's trying to keep her out of this whole lifestyle, which I thought was very endearing for the character. But yeah, as you guys can tell, I enjoyed it for what it was. Don't come into this expecting something like novel or anything,
No.
but it is a lot of fun. If you like, say, a John Wick, or if you like Tarantino, you know.
If you ever find yourself thinking, well, I want something like John Wick, but not as good, this is the movie for you.
Oh my god.
I don't even like
Everything else in it.
necessarily.
I don't know if I necessarily want to say it's
Right.
completely aping John Wick.
Oh,
Just with
no,
the
no.
tone of this movie, and C. Robert Cargill from Junk Food Cinema, he actually, I think he's the guy that coined this term. Was crime fantasy,
Mhm.
and this kind of feels like what that movie is going for. This feels closer in tone to something like Nobody or even Smoking Aces
Yeah.
than it does to than it is a John Wick knockoff.
No, I kind of feel that. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't tell you like the last comic book I read, and I'm not trying to say like I don't read comic books. I don't read in general. But
No books.
I can't read.
Yeah. But this kind of just felt like, well, this is trying to be a graphic novel. I mean, like there are even shots where it's like, if you fit this into a panel, it's gonna look like straight out of a graphic novel. That being
Yeah.
said, I don't necessarily disagree with Rose. I mean, every scene that wasn't action, I was kind of tuned out. I think I even got up a few times to go get a drink, and I didn't feel like I missed out on anything in terms of like dialogue or plot. Like, you know exactly where this is going. You know exactly where this is going when they set up the library in the film where all the
Yeah.
assassins get their weapons and stuff like that. It's like, gee, I
Yeah.
wonder if this is going to be the climax of the movie. And you know, lo
Mhm.
and behold, of course it is.
I do have
Yeah,
one nice
absolutely.
thing to say about it, in that most of the time it looked quite beautiful. I guess they blew their wad on the lighting and cinematography and stuff, because that was always aces from scene to scene.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Yeah, the
choreography was great too.
The DP, the stunt coordinators, and the cinematographer, they earned that paycheck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The entire time, it's about that. Yeah, her mom was also an assassin that wanted to keep her away from it. So she's really only doing it to like feel some kind of connection to her mom.
Right down
That's
to the
what
point
I
where
read
they
that performance
actually
as.
say the line, "I never wanted this life for you." And
Take a drink every time they say that line.
whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of cliches, and I felt that too. Especially like it was very hard to watch her on screen at first because I'm like, oh, she's so like rigid, and maybe she's trying to play that, but it's just a little too much. And yeah, Rose did have a good point about the acting, and I think when you're watching it, you just kind of, it's definitely something that as a viewer we can't take too seriously, because then it like definitely ruins it. But it is very fun.
I think like 20 minutes in though, you're just kind of get used to it, and you're just like in the same positions Chase said, where you know what you signed up for. So
Well, what
Yeah.
was
As
so
soon
great
as
about
I-
this
as
is
soon as
that-
they hit the library,
I think I
my
agree with Rose that the acting, at least on Karen Gillan's part, up until the point where Lena Headey comes back into the movie, I think she is very, very stilted and very, very straight faced. But once Lena Headey comes back into the movie, that's when it really picks up for me.
Yeah. But like
But
with
as soon
Karen Gillan's performance,
never
it's
mind.
shades of the same kind of energy that she has when she's playing Nebula in the Marvel movies, but
Yep.
there it works. She just has this kind of dark energy about her that seems realistic to that character, and it doesn't come off as corny. But this time I was just like, can we get another take?
Honestly, I feel like that might be the faults of the guy who directed it. I mean, like this is like his first attempt at doing an action film. Like, I mean, look up Big Bad Wolves, look up the trailer. You'll realize like that's absolutely nothing like what this is. So maybe he just needs another. Maybe someone else needs to direct Gunpowder Milkshake 2 or whatever they're gonna call it.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna happen.
Gunpowder Milkshakes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, as soon as they hit the library and they started making book puns, I was just like, yeah, no, I know what we're in.
Nope,
I know
I'm
what we're in
done.
now. I know what we're in now. It's a
Done.
wrap.
I'm good.
My brain is off. I'm just gonna have fun with this.
I mean, I get what they were going for, but at the same time, I feel like that, it just didn't work in the film. And like Adrian's to point, like maybe if you did have a better director who was capable at really working this style, it would have been better. For me, just to give my initial final thoughts on the film and wrap up with just kind of a rating with Gunpowder Milkshake. So, thought the movie looked good. Thought the action scenes were very creative. The way they used some of the action scenes. I thought Karen Gillan, very good in the action scenes. I thought she was very good at doing the choreography. She does a good, some very cool moves in it. I think that I would want to say if this film was better if they almost had like a lead in it that was Lena Headey. If it was she was the lead instead. Heidi. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Heidi, damn it.
Yeah. So if she was the
Cersei.
lead, if she was the lead instead of Karen Gillan, I think the movie maybe would have worked better. I think it would have probably worked better. I think the aspects of it, a lot of it is very familiar, but I think it kind of works well in that it doesn't excel above its parts. It never really excels. Adrian, final thoughts on it, rating? And I give it a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Yeah.
I thought the action was fun, and I thought everything else was kind of like you can totally miss it and yet not miss anything. I'll give them points for a reference that they did to The Professional, which I thought was like, that's cute. I got that. They said no women, no kids, really professional type. I was like, oh, I get that reference. And aside from that, I was like, okay, this is fun. Like they kind of do their best action scene a little too early when Karen Gillan is like, she just got injected with something that kind of paralyzes her arms.
Yeah.
And they do something really fun with that. And then at the end, it was cool too, but I feel like it's not shot the best. Like some of it's too close. Some of it has like CGI gore, which is like I will always take points away from a movie that uses or relies on CGI gore. But I don't know, I'd see a second one if they kind of ramp it up. I mean, and there's only it would be dumb to not ramp up how wild this movie is, but. Overall,
I mean, if Sam Hargrave signs up for a sequel, let's go.
Yeah, or you know who would do a good sequel to this is the team behind Nobody and Hardcore Henry. Like this kind of silly action seems like to be like
Netflix, give Ilya Naishuller a call.
Yeah, it was some name like that. I knew. But overall, if you want to check it out, you're not gonna waste your time. But if you want to miss out on it, you're also not gonna miss out on much. I'd give this 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say out of 10 for a second. I was like,
man. I'm trying to do like fractions in my head. It's like,
okay.
Fuck. Why did I not study math?
Okay. Cedes, Tibi.
Overall, I would agree with Josh. 6 out of 10 for me. A lot of like missed opportunities in the movie. Lots of hits and misses. Weird stuff in the plot that like didn't really make sense. Me and Cedes were talking, and after, how do I say this without spoiling it? When something explodes. And then they don't go to check if, like, there's something still there, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or like, why didn't she just check to see if she could recover something, or like, go back with something? So, anyway, yeah.
you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, the action was good. The acting not so good. So, I think that gets a 6 from me.
Okay.
Yeah, in the same realm of things. It's definitely a movie we paused a few times because we were like, let's just go on our phones and like take a mental break. But when there's like stuff going on and like you're kind of in the thick of these action scenes, however crazy they may be, with
teeth are dropping down on people.
Tape my hands and move me like this. Like it's silly, but it's fun. So, and I really like the little girl in it, because I just thought she was awesome. And I think and it's hard to find a good kid actor. You know, sometimes they're just very like, I am scared. I am scared of this. But I thought she was good. So for her, I give it a 6 points.
Okay. Yeah, and the kid actor, I think her name is Chloe Coleman. She was also in another kind of action film. She was in My Spy with Dave Bautista. So because
Right, I thought she looked familiar.
yeah, because I was looking at her, I was like, this girl looks a
Yeah, I
lot
knew
familiar.
she looked familiar, but
Yeah.
goddamn, that movie sucked.
I remember seeing trailers for it all the time. I never actually saw it. But she was in that movie with him. Because I know I was like, this girl kind of looks very, very familiar. But yeah, so she was in that. All right, so Rose, thoughts, final thoughts, rating.
I really wanted to like it a lot more than I did. That's not to say that there isn't anything good about it. Like I said, I already praised the kind of visuals, and I thought the hospital fight scene was pretty darn clever up until the very last moment of it, where I was just like, all right, back to Looney Tunes, I guess. I would give it a recommendation for someone who likes cheesy action movie, this exact kind of thing. I wouldn't even know what to call it, but if you know, you know. But going back to what you guys were talking about, like people you wish directed it, if I had to choose someone, I would want like Edgar Wright to take on.
Oh yeah,
Like, I think he could do a lot with this exact same
Oh,
premise,
yeah.
characters, everything, and make it what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, to try to give it a watch if the trailer piques your interest. And
Yeah.
I think I would have to probably give it maybe a 5 out of 10.
5. Okay.
The visuals are what save it for me.
Yeah. All right. Chase. Final thoughts, rating.
For me, it's a fun 6. It's a very fun 6 for me. The story, of course, is not that deep. The acting, of course, as we said, it is kind of cheesy, but I had fun with it. And if you're looking for like just something to pass the time, that is like just a good action film, I guess, or just good action in general, go ahead. Yeah. And like you were saying, Rose, like this is my type of shit, like the stupid meathead shit. Like, so, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. All right. Nick. Oh, what was your rating? Did you give a rating,
So
Chase?
with me,
Chase.
Yeah, I said 6.
Oh, it says
fun
6.
6.
A fun 6. Okay.
I said fun
Someone's not
6.
paying attention.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I sometimes I tune Chase out. I'm sorry. I tune him
wow,
out.
stepping on the goddamn
Word.
Asian dude
Better
on
than
the
a parent
podcast.
seven.
Stepping on the goddamn Asian dude. I
Word.
can't get my point across.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead, man. I apologize.
Okay, so for me, with this movie, there's like little flashes of brilliance in this. Like some of the stunt choreography in this, it's incredible. The cinematography, it's gorgeous. And towards the latter half, once you get Lena Headey interacting with the rest of the cast, some of those scenes are amazing. Their chemistry really works. And if you told me that you had a scene with Angela Bassett and Lena Headey screaming "fudge you" to each other, and that was gonna get a genuine belly laugh out of me, I would have told you to fuck off. But something about just how absurd this movie is works for me. Like I love when action movies get really zany and almost becoming, to your point, Adrian, like a live action comic book. This is more like a live action Looney Tunes for me. Just in terms of how absurd some of the action is. I do agree with Rose that some of the acting performances, especially from Karen Gillan, it's a little bit stiff in the beginning, but I read that more as a character choice than a failure on her part.
Yeah.
It's a very fun action movie, but honestly, just with a lot of female-led action movies, it could have been a lot worse. We could have gotten something like a Charlie's Angels.
Which one?
Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels.
Ooh.
We could have gotten so much worse.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
But
yeah.
Yeah, for me, it is a little slow at the beginning, but once Lena Headey comes back into the picture, that's when it really picks up for me. But I'd say this is a strong 6.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So Yeah, I think most general thoughts around here were it was okay for the most part. Not really anything really great, but I think general thoughts was it's fine. I think it's perfect to be on Netflix, perfect to watch there. I think that's something that you could definitely pick up, and it's trending. It's number 7 in the top 10 on Netflix, so it is trending. It's been trending for a while now because
Cool.
this movie's been out for at least over a week now. I would say this movie's been out.
Yeah, I think the best way to watch this is like a double feature with something like Boss Level or Nobody or
Yeah.
even Smoking Aces.
I hate Smoking Aces, but maybe Nobody and then this. I hate Smoking Aces. I
Yeah.
truly. All right. So
Please don't have some words about that.
yeah. So
Meet me
Rose
in the parking lot.
Rose has to head out. Rose, if you just want to introduce yourself just one more time, just say your name and then where people can find you and if you want people to find you, but just find your reviews and links and things like that. And want to pimp that real quick.
Yeah, I Rose Maddox. You can find me doing reviews for oneofus.net and also doing admin duties for the Double Toasted fan page on Facebook. And I will see you there or not.
Okay. Very much so. Thank you so much, Rose, for coming. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. This was fun.
Thank you, Rose.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Rose.
Bye.
Hi, Rose.
Have a good night.
And Rose will be back. She will be coming back in a couple of weeks. She's going to be doing Suicide Squad with us August 6th. So she's going to be coming back.
Dope.
What did you have a stroke? What happened? What happened to you there? What'd you say?
No, I said what? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand you there. Yeah. So yeah, that is very awesome, Nick. Thank you. Yes. So she's gonna be coming and doing that with us, with someone else. So next up, we're gonna do Zola real quick. We're gonna do Zola. So me, Adrian, and Chase, we saw that. Cedes and Tibi, you guys didn't see that, right?
No,
We did.
Yeah.
we didn't see Old either.
Yeah. If you guys want to stick around, because I know Chris is coming for the
Oh,
review.
wait, Zola, whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we can stick around.
yeah. So if you guys want
Is the name TD or TB?
TB.
TB. Did you know you're in Zola?
What?
Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that.
I'm playing. It's just it's literally the way that you're wearing your hoodie right now. It's the only.
You got a point, though. You got a point. He's wearing that.
And the white T-shirt
I'm
underneath.
sorry,
too.
I'm sorry. He just looks like any corny dude in Tampa.
Oh, see,
You
I
don't
wouldn't
need to
say
call
that.
him
what did, you just kind of well don't
I was making a joke about the movie.
yeah I mean don't you just insulted the man personally.
TV roast.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, the man just coming on for a nice review and then you just gonna take shots at him and what the fuck?
Jesus, dude.
First and last time we're on this podcast.
This was never an option.
Wow.
You're
Yeah.
sweating. You're sweating.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna discuss. I think Zola. I think Cedes. I think you would like the movie. I think you would enjoy it. It seems like
It's about
Well,
a
you might have already read the movie if you've seen the Twitter
Josh said
thread.
it's about a hoe trip, and that's all I know of the movie. So I'm like, yeah, probably I would like it.
yeah. So in this movie, so this movie boasts that it's the first movie that's based off a Twitter thread. So this is based on a true story. What happened? This woman, she met this girl at a restaurant, and these are her words. These are not my words. You know what I mean? I just want to make this very clear. She said she met some white bitch. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I have no discrimination against the white bitches. No discrimination at all.
Why not?
You know what I mean? Because hey, man, all lives matter, man. You know what I mean? Absolutely, man. 100%.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
So here you have this in
You
this
should
movie.
cut that out.
Yeah. No, leave it. You gotta leave it in. Gotta leave it in. Gotta leave the mistakes in like that.
Okay.
So here
Hey,
in the,
I appreciate you taking your L's.
gotta leave it in there. So here in this movie, so this woman, she meets her at this restaurant, which she works at like a kind of like a Hooters type restaurant, basically. She comes in and they
Literally Hooters.
no, well, they don't say it's a Hooters.
Wasn't she in a?
No,
Wasn't she wearing a Hooters
no.
uniform? All right, whatever.
I think
It's discount Hooters.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's a Hooters adjacent type thing. So it's I guess I mean I don't know if you
Hooters.
It's like Hooters, but with like 3 O's to avoid a copyright.
yeah it was kind of like a similar type restaurant like that. So she's working there, and then she meets this woman, and they form kind of like an instant connection. They just start kind of forming, talking to each other, just really kind of getting along very well, and they start really texting back and forth heavy after they start meeting. And when they start meeting and then texting back and forth, and then throughout the movie, you'll hear like little sounds throughout the movie that you'll hear. And those like kind of little dings and little sounds are supposed to be like the Twitter notifications. So you'll hear that kind of throughout the movie. And that's supposed to kind of indicate like this actually was like the real part of the real Twitter thread that was put out that, she said that actually happened, and everything like that. And if you really want to read the Twitter thread, it's still up. And you can go read an article about, like Rolling Stone did an article about the whole Twitter thread and things like that. If you are interested about it, which I did, because after seeing the movie, I was very kind of interested about kind of reading all about it. And so when they start really going kind of back and forth with each other, DMing each other, texting each other, then the white girl, she comes up with this kind of an idea of like, hey, I know this girl, she made all this money, like $5,000, in one night at the strip club down there. If you come, why don't you come with me and my friend and my roommate, and then we come down there to Florida and we strip for one night and we make kind of $5,000. So, and the girl, she's kind of hesitant at first, and the main girl, obviously her name is Zola, so that's where the title of the movie comes from. And then the white girl of the movie, her name is Stephanie. So she's like, that's where the whole trip kind of aspect comes up to. It's like, well, girl, we just kind of met and you already want to take whole trips together. So, but she eventually decides to do so. And then that's when they kind of take a trip down to Florida. So I think it's best if you don't kind of say much as possible about the plot, because I think it's best coming in as cold as possible to it and kind of just letting kind of the experience of kind of not knowing what's going to happen next kind of wash over you a little bit. And with all the kind of A24 films, and this is kind of an A24 film, it reminds me similarly of something like Good Time, or something similar to maybe like the Florida Project, or maybe even kind of a little bit of Uncut Gems a little bit. And I say that because with the films, it's very like nothing can be funnier or more dangerous than real life, and these kind of real life scenarios, especially when you're dealing with crime and stupid criminals and getting kind of these crazy situations. I just find that endlessly hilarious. Like Good Time is is one of my favorite movies of the past decade, because of just the stuff that just happened in that movie. So I'm just gonna go around to Adrian and to Chase. What did you guys think about the movie?
You mentioned Good Time and Uncut Gems and other A24 movies. What it reminded me of that I wasn't expecting at all to make me think about, like when seeing the trailer and stuff like that, was Under the Skin. Did you ever watch that one with Scarlett Johansson?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It doesn't. It's also partially because the guy who did the soundtrack or the score for this movie, Michael Levy, he also did the soundtrack for Under the Skin. So there are moments that the soundtrack, like, it'll just be like the pitch black road, and you hear this like otherworldly, really ominous music going on. And I feel like throughout the whole movie, there's this feeling like Florida is just this other world that you shouldn't be a part of, which is kind of how I feel about Florida in general. But
that's just Florida.
Yeah. Exactly. It translates.
That's just
it translates
Tampa.
well. It quickly descends from like what should be a fun trip into a nightmare scenario, essentially. And I really dug it. I didn't really know what to expect with this movie, but I ended up completely loving this. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was scary at times. I thought it was just really well made. Like all the shots in here are stunning. They do stuff like they present like everything you need to know about Stefani is within like one shot of like, okay, this is exactly who this type of person is. And they even do stuff like there's a scene once they first get to Florida and they get to the motel, like this grimy ass motel. I don't know if y'all noticed, but there are these two kids just dribbling a basketball, and they're just looped, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? That's like, oh, this is the soundtrack. Just like moments like that, it's like, I love this type of filmmaking, and I wasn't expecting this, and it floored me. I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a film that definitely rewards you for paying attention to like the background, because there's a lot of like weird, like only in Florida type of characters that are just lurking in the background. A lot of very surreal like moments too that you're just like, wait, there's no way this actually happened. Like this isn't real. Like, and I think it does a good job at playing with that sort of idea.
Yeah.
But say, Nick?
Oh, yeah, you think that, there's no way that this could actually happen, but then you got to remember, this is in Florida.
Yeah, no, it absolutely could happen.
It's another world.
Yeah.
It's
And the two leads here, you have
another world fueled by crystal meth and alligator meat.
And you have Taylor Page here, who plays the titular character. She plays Zola. You have Riley Keough, who plays Stefani.
Riley Keough, who's been popping up a lot. She was in The Devil All the Time, a movie that we reviewed on the show. She was in Under the Silver Lake, I think was another A24 movie. And she ends up working a lot with Steven Soderbergh.
Yes.
Really? Oh.
And you also have Coleman Domingo, who's in this, who I've been seeing him pop up quite a bit as well. He was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He was in that Michael B. Jordan movie. So I've been seeing him kind of,
He was in the Candyman trailer that probably popped up when you went to go see this movie.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's also going to be in the upcoming Candyman film as well. So yeah, he's been popping up quite a bit in a lot of other stuff. So yeah, so it's good to see. He plays a really good role in here as well. You also have an actor named Nicholas Braun, who Adrian roasted Tibi with a little bit here earlier. He was looking like him. So I think he has a kind of great role in this movie as well. He plays this kind of friend, I guess, quote unquote, of Stefani, as you'll say, in this. And
oh my God, I just found on his IMDb page. You know who he was before that you would recognize him the most?
What is that?
He was Zack Attack in Sky High.
Oh, okay.
He was the dude that glowed in the dark in Sky High.
Not you say that.
Interrupt really quick.
Yeah.
So that guy Nick Braun, he always plays this character. I mean, outside of I guess Sky High, but like in Perks of Being a Wallflower, he's this character. In fucking oh my God, I forgot what it's called, but that Ben Stiller Alien comedy, he's this character too. And yet, even though he plays the same guy all the time, I did not recognize that was actually him until after the movie, looking it up on IMDb. I thought he was great. Like, this guy is kind of like prophetic, but in the funniest way. And I don't know, so many of the side characters in this movie, just in general, they seem to kind of steal the scene every time they're on, especially Coleman Domingo.
Yeah. So I mean, so usually you saying Nicholas Braun, he plays kind of like the dumb kind of guy a little bit. He like typically plays that role.
Yeah, just the dumb.
Look through his IMDb. It's always this dude.
Okay. Because
we'd call him simp.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what he was doing there. I don't know what he thought he was doing there.
Well, I mean, he's under some spell. I mean, it happens, sometimes, it affects, what I mean? I think, it happens and affects 1 in 5 men, I think I hear, what I mean? That's what the statistics say,
He should have knew what was going on the second that she brought, I'm not going to spoil anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering.
I'm trying not to spoil at all,
Once
but like
the Twitter thread, I'm pretty sure I saw the Twitter thread when it was like going around years ago or whenever it happened. So I feel like I kind of know what you're talking about. I'll definitely look it up after the movie though, just so I don't get spoiled.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, if you're around 2015 during like prime Twitter era, like when people were actually like making like threads, like full length like stories, like this was one of
like
the
whole
This is
like
one of the
little
first.
Stephen,
Every Twitter
yeah, like
thread.
Stephen
Yeah.
King novellas published
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Did
Yeah.
you guys read the Dear David one? Slightly off topic, but that's like another good classic if you want to go into a deep dive of Twitter threads.
Wait, which one?
That's another one that's becoming a movie. Well,
Yeah.
it's been in production for like a little bit. So
Yeah, that
who
was
knows
the
when
movie.
that's going to be.
It's basically about this guy who starts seeing this weird childlike figure in his house, and there's lots of skepticism if it's real. I don't think it's real, but it's definitely an interesting story. And if they make it a movie, it would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see kind of, things like that. I mean, things from the internet get turned into Netflix documentaries and films and things like that. So, like there was that whole documentary, Don't F with Cats. That was a big thing that happened on the internet. These people kind of doing a investigation. Like they did a whole kind of breakdown of this guy and trying to find him. And they found a serial killer. I'm still trying to contact Netflix for Cedes and the Stream Queens documentary. They haven't returned my emails yet, but I'm still working on it. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'm trying to help them get that Netflix deal, get that Netflix money, that Netflix bag. So I'm definitely trying to help.
Oh, you're the one who called out people of like pretending that they had cancer or something like that.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's us. So
Yeah, that was wild.
Wait, y'all are famous?
Netflix, get that documentary right now.
Netflix, cut the check.
Yeah.
Wait, Mercedes, you're famous?
What the hell? I didn't.
No. I mean, it was a Tumblr thing. So another if you're around the internet at that time, it was very.
Yo, they made a movie off a Twitter thread. We can get some shit made from Tumblr. Let's go.
Exactly. We will be the first Tumblr movie. So.
Yeah.
That's just funny that Adrian just came on. He was just like, "Yo, wait, I know this."
I heard from the Black Widow episode. I'll be honest,
okay.
that's where I heard it but I thought that was this is crazy. I need to hear more about this. Not Black Widow.
Next, I'll review the movie when it happens.
So
who would you want to play you? Mercedes?
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson.
Shut up. My Asian hero. No, two people told me this in my lifetime, so I've taken it to heart, and I'm never gonna let it down. People have told me I look like Olivia Munn, so I would say Olivia Munn. I don't think I look like her, but people have told me that, so I'm never gonna stop saying that.
Yeah, Olivia Munn is pretty good. She's gorgeous. Yeah, Olivia Munn is very, very gorgeous. Yeah.
She's Japanese and white. I thought I was Japanese and white. Turns out I'm not. That's another story. I'm actually Korean. But we kind of all have the same.
Oh, yeah, ScarJo. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Yeah. Who do you think would be Tibi? Nicholas Braun. What's his cat?
Nicholas Braun.
Anybody from Tampa.
Why are you even asking?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry to say.
Oh, no, I was just adding to.
No, I cut Cedes off. What did you say, Cedes? I'm sorry.
Oh, it was a whole joke. Everyone laughed. I thought you were.
I thought you. Oh, sorry.
I said everybody from Tampa. Not as good the second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So final thoughts, Adrian and Chase, and give a rating for it.
Chase, you go ahead and go first.
I don't even know. This is a wild movie. That's the first thing I want to say. I did enjoy it for what it was. I have to read the Twitter thread again because I do remember reading it a while ago, but a lot of things happened that I don't remember. But I do think that they do a great job in terms of adapting it. The sort of surreal filmmaking is great. They kind of shot it sort of similar to the only film I can think of right now is kind of like Tangerine in terms of like how they colored the outside shots.
Yeah, that's very true. The color grading, it's similar to that, and it's shot almost in this like grainy quality that just makes it so surreal.
Yeah, and a lot of the little techniques that they do, just like with the to give like the date and the time with like your iPhone. Every now and then there'll be like a rain or whatever.
Yeah,
I appreciated all those little things.
They do like the that old sound that Twitter used to have, that like a tweeting bird, that like
Yeah,
little sound
yeah,
that pops in every now and then as a motif.
Yeah.
yeah. But you know, if it is real, that's crazy because there are certain points that I was just like, look, I can't believe these characters are actually successful like criminals. But it is what it is, and I had a good fun time with it. I'd probably give it like a eight, a light eight.
Mm.
Lightning. Okay.
But yeah, what do you
Adrian?
think, Adrian?
Yeah.
I really love this movie, and I think it's because I kind of had zero expectations. I remember briefly skimming through the Twitter thread when it first popped up. I remember everybody talking about how this is a crazy ass story, and what this ends up being is like a genuinely cautionary tale about like be careful who you trust, because even if you're into dancing, which I think is a great profession to get into, you might end up doing way more that you absolutely did not plan to do, and it's a dangerous situation. It's some scary shit. So even if there are some things where it's like maybe this didn't happen, I could totally see this happening. Just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, yeah, that isn't based on a specific thing, but it seems like it could happen, especially in Texas. The way that this film is shot, we've already mentioned, is just like absolutely stunning. They do some really incredible stylistic choices that like don't take away from the film at all. And also, to the film's credit, it ends, I feel like, exactly where it needs to. So I think some people were complaining that it should have gone longer, but I think at 90 minutes, 95 minutes, this is
Barely.
like a perfect watch.
It's like an hour 26 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the official time listed. So maybe like an hour 10 with credits.
And that's exactly as long as it needs to be. This is a wild, graphic, dark movie, yet it's also very, very funny at times. I mean, like there's this character that we haven't even mentioned who may be like an assassin, and they're hilarious. Like every time they're on screen, it's like really funny.
Yeah.
And there's some crazy shit that does happen in this movie where it's like I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to see so much penis, but there it is.
A full
Cox
montage.
right on that screen.
Yeah,
Full
including
montage.
one guy where it's like, my man, you got to go to the doctor immediately. I don't know what that is, but you got to go get that checked out.
Creepy dick is not an insult. That's a concern.
Yeah.
Riley Keough, she's been in everything, and this is such an uncomfortable performance because of how realistic it is.
Yeah, she's essentially doing blackface without like any of the actual like makeup on.
Yeah, it's like the most extreme use of AAVE that I've ever heard. But you know what? It sells the character. Yeah, I could totally imagine this is the person who would get into this scenario.
Yeah.
I really did think everything was like great, and maybe it's because it's like under 90 minutes. That's like, if it was any longer, I might have some complaints, but I don't. I love this movie, and I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5.
Wow. 5 out of 5. All right.
Cinema is back.
Yeah.
A24 is coming in hot.
Yeah. So I love this movie. Like Adrian and Chase. Like I said, it very much reminded me kind of like something like Good Time, which I also really love. Also really love things like Uncut Gems. That kind of dark humor that comes with this movie. Like you said, the relationship like Cole Domingo has with this other woman that you see in this movie is very hilarious. Just that kind of those moments in this movie and how it can kind of balance both those elements of being very dark and then being also very humorous back and forth is also very enjoyable. Great performances all around from everybody. The main actress who played Zola, she was fantastic. Riley Keough was very fantastic. Their relationship, their chemistry, really great. How they kind of bounce off each other. Nicholas Braun, I think he's also very hilarious in this movie as well. Just great performances up and down from the entire cast. You also have a great performance by Jason Mitchell, who shows up as well. People know him. He played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. I think that, really great looking movie. as most A24 films tend to be. And definitely a film that you should check out if you have the chance. It's on VOD right now. Highly recommend checking it out, watching it at home. And I would give it a strong 9 out of 10 for me. I don't think I had any real kind of big issue with this at all. It's a great pace of the film too. It's only, like I said, only an hour and 26 minutes, so it's very good pace as well. All right, so Adrian has to head out. So
do I.
I would have to say give it a in honor of Adrian being here and Rose, one of us. I give it 9 stripper poles out of 10 in honor of that.
The one of us rating. Right on.
Yeah. So
I feel bad because I'm not even doing it. I'm literally just doing numbers.
Yeah, I'd say 8.5 fucking gator bites out of 10.
So Adrian, you want to just introduce yourself again, pimp your stuff, your links, socials, if you want all that stuff, and let people know where people can find you.
Twitter at adrianelcritico, Instagram at adrianelcritico, and if by chance nobody is looking, that's ADRIANELCRITICO, I think. But yeah, you can find me pretty much everywhere with that name. Check out We Be Watching Films on pretty much everywhere. I like listening to it on Spotify when it comes out, and I'll usually drop the Spotify link. But check us out next week. On Friday, we're going to be dropping an episode about our favorite A24 horror films. So I'm excited for y'all to hear that. I hate the whole A24 cinema, Marvel is not, and A24 fanboys.
It's elevated
and all that
horror.
stuff. Exactly, and I try not to be that guy, and I'm looking over here right now, and I even got the A24 lighter in my desk, and I completely forgot about it. So maybe I am just that person, and maybe that's why I love this movie. But yeah, you can find me there. Just check out We Be Watching Films. I would appreciate it.
Okay.
So thanks so much for having me, guys. This was fun.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
What's up with that teddy bear in the back?
What's it?
The teddy bear we got there with the small head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I love it.
If you would also like a tiny head bear, look up Tiny Head Kingdom. Just Google it, and you'll find yours right there too.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you.
Take care.
And then also, I have to head out too.
Okay. I can't stay for Snake Eyes?
No, I have to wake up mad early tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But
all right, man.
It's been real.
Thank you, Chase. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man.
Have a good night.
All right, take care. Okay, so real quick, I just have to give somebody a call real quick, so I'm going to bring in somebody else just real quick, so I'm just going to pull it off real quick. So, Cedes, Tibi, what did you guys think about the review, and, if you're kind of interested to see Zola or not?
Wait, say that again?
Just if what are your thoughts about the movie, and if you are interested to see it and kind of experience and everything like
All
that.
about Zola?
Yeah, 100%.
Based on what you guys said, it sounds strong. And if it's the Twitter thread I'm thinking about, it was so long ago that I don't know the entire ins and outs, but I remember just being and it just sounds like something that's a fun movie. I think that's my general genre of movies. It has to be fun for me to like it, and I think that's why again I liked Gunpowder Milkshake so much, is because it was just kind of silly. Yeah, I would be down to watch that for sure.
I think with Zola it's a fun movie, but it's almost like an uncomfortable fun. It's like the same vibe that you get with something like Uncut Gems, where you're just on the edge of your seat, tense for the entire runtime of that. Thankfully, Zola isn't nearly as long as Uncut Gems is, but I almost couldn't breathe watching Zola.
Uncut Gems is 3 hours. How much?
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it is the Adam Sandler.
Oh my
Cedes
God.
is asking if it's the Adam Sandler movie. Yeah,
I
love that movie.
I was in another.
Yeah, that movie's incredible.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, Yo, what's going on, Chris? How's it going, man?
Hey Josh, not much. How are you?
Very good. So this
Holy
is
shit, Chris, you're. I'm pretty sure your character's thumbnail. I'm pretty sure we saw that dude in Zola.
Oh shit!
yeah.
I keep meaning to change that to something else.
I'm sorry to jump in here. We have to head out too. We gotta drive to the airport to pick up Phoebe's parents tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Cedes and TB.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for
if-
having us.
If you two want to just, say your names again and then pimp your stuff real quick.
Sure.
Go ahead, Dave.
It's all me. TV is very off the grid. But if you like, we stream on my channel on Twitch at babygirlcedes every Wednesday and Sunday. Well, we're trying to, anyways. Like now that quarantine's kind of over, we're leaving the house a lot more, so we've been kind of off schedule.
Okay.
We do a lot of horror games, puzzle games, story-driven games. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Mercedes HIT, Mercedes shit. In short. And then on Instagram, also at babygirlcedes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. And make sure to look
Thanks,
back.
guys, for having us.
Yeah, make sure to look back and check out our review of Old when you get the chance. Yeah.
Yeah, once
After we watch
after we
it,
watch
yeah.
it, for sure. That's on the list. And
Okay.
Zola now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good
See you
one.
guys.
All right. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Chris. You saw Old. I didn't get a chance to check it out because I had to see Snake Eyes today.
Right.
So you saw Old, the M. Night Shyamalan directed film. So give us the rundown, man. Give us the review there.
Okay, so the basic setup is we're following this family. The parents are played by Gail Garcia Bernal and Vicky Krieps, who's less well known, but some people might recognize him from Phantom Thread. It's them and their two kids. They're at this hotel on this beach. They never really say where it is. And they're going through some tough times. Like, they're on the verge of divorce because of reasons I don't want to give away, but they want to have one last nice vacation for their kids before breaking the news to them. And then, like their first morning there, they get an offer like, hey, there's this special beach that's like way out in the distance. You have to go through basically this like giant like crevice, like almost cave-like thing in order to get there. But yeah, just go there and then later on we'll pick you up. They go there and they meet up with a couple other people, another family led by the dad, played by Rufus Sewell, and they're hanging out, the kids are having fun, the parents are relaxing, and then weird shit starts happening, beginning with a naked dead body of a girl washing up on the beach, and then they try to leave to go get help, and they suddenly black out, and then wake up back on the beach where they were. And then the kids start to age very quickly. They start off, like the daughter starts off at 11, and then the son and Rufus Sewell's daughter are 6, and then suddenly they sprout up like 5 or 6 years. And they start to panic, and they start freaking out, because everyone's starting to get older. The kids, the adults are getting older, they're getting wrinkles, other things start happening, one guy's nose keeps bleeding, seizures, wrinkles, eyesight starts to go away, hearing starts to go away, and they have to figure out what's going on, and how the hell do we get off of this beach?
Okay. So what were your kind of general thoughts on it? And M. Night Shyamalan, I know this is like a directed film, so that means what comes with M. Night Shyamalan is the twist and is kind of the whole thing like that. So, and there was a point where M. Night Shyamalan seemed like he was kind of making a little bit of a comeback, with movies like The Visit. Yeah. And then he kind of
I love The Visit, and I really liked Split.
Okay, and then he kind of seemed like he kind of fell on his face again.
Started a comeback, and then
yeah, Glass, which I don't think Glass is like awful or anything. There's stuff about it that I really like, but yeah, it's a noticeable come down from what seemed to be a resurgence for him.
Okay, so
yeah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, so is this up or is this down?
I'll say this: it's definitely better than Glass. Like, it's noticeably better. Like, you don't have Bruce Willis there sleepwalking. Like, everybody, even if they're not good, they're putting in the effort to turn in a good performance, and I think several of them really do. Like, Gael Garcia Bernal, he's one of those actors where you can hand him basically anything, and he's gonna make it sound compelling. Alex Wolff, who most people probably recognize from Hereditary plays the older version of his son, and he does a really good job. He has some cool freak out moments. And Thomasin McKenzie, who plays the older version of Gael Garcia Bernal's daughter, who most people probably recognize as the girl who was hiding in the attic in Jojo Rabbit, and she's going to be the lead in Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright's new movie. She's excellent. Like, honestly, she's probably like the standout performance in the whole movie. Some actors are okay, like mostly because they struggle with the dialogue, which, it's Shyamalan dialogue. Like, it's clunky, it's very exposition-y. It involves characters saying things that you're never going to hear a regular person say anytime in their life. But I will say it can be kind of excused in this movie, given certain contexts and certain ailments that people have, and the fact that their brains are starting to crack open on this island. Yeah, some actors kind of struggle, like Ken Leung from Lost and a couple other people, but they're still okay. Honestly, there's only 2 actors in the movie who I would classify as being like straight up just not good. And I don't want to blame them. It's the material and the directing, because one of them is Rufus Sewell, who's a really good actor who's in a lot of really good stuff. Dark City, Man in the High Castle, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. He's not given a lot of good material to work with, and he's not able to make it any better. He's a pretty like almost cartoonish asshole. He's arrogant. He has a trophy wife. He's racist. There's just not a whole lot there for him to chew on. And then there's another guy. I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays a rapper with the stage name of Mid-Sized Sedan.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I'm not making this up. They say his real name later on. And it's like, I get that it's a stage name, but still, you could have come up with something better, Knight. He's probably the weak link in terms of acting. And once again, I don't want to blame him, because I'm sure he's good in other stuff. Shyamalan has a habit of taking talented actors and misdirecting them. Like, look at The Happening or After Earth,
What? No!
Exactly. The acting's kind of all over the place. There's some good standouts. Honestly, I think this is his most well-shot movie. Like, he does a great job of capturing the landscapes and the ocean, and he does really cool, like, crash zooms and like tracking shots and camera trickery and shaky cam and other editing tricks that I don't think I've ever seen him do in a movie before. It feels like his most experimental movie in a lot of ways, because like he shot this during the pandemic, and something that Shyamalan's been doing recently that I don't think a lot of people realize, starting with The Visit, is that he's been self-financing his own movies. Like,
oh really?
He'll take his paycheck from the last movie he made, combine it with a mortgage that he took out of his house, and he'll use that to fund his next movie. So that way he has full control. Studios don't have to tell him what to do. He just goes and makes the movie, brings it to them, and then they release it. And I think he uses that to his advantage here in a lot of ways. Again, like, there's a lot of really cool filmmaking going on. And there's a lot of really cool, like, effective body horror moments. I don't want to give them away, but there's some stuff you see in the trailer, like the pregnancy thing. And there's other things like surgery and things with bones and healing scars that you kind of have to see to believe. It's really cool how they do it, and I don't think you're going to see it anywhere else.
Interesting.
And the way they age people is really good. Like, the makeup they use, like, some of it's like, okay, you didn't even really try on certain people, but sometimes, especially with Gael Garcia Bernal, like, they do a really good job of making him look older. And they also did a really good job in terms of casting and finding actors who look like the older or younger versions of each other. Like, it matches up pretty seamlessly.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the weakness... Honestly, all my problems with this movie or most of them, are on paper. Like, again, the dialogue, it's the typical Shyamalan stuff, like I mentioned. There's plot holes that pop up here and there. It's like, wait, if this person has been on the island, on the beach for this long, then how come they still basically look the same? And there's other questions regarding the science of certain things. And, okay, how do you get here, but you can't go there and stuff. And then it gets to the last 10 minutes where, honestly, like, the last 10 minutes really did drag this movie down for me because they had the chance to end this on a really emotional and kind of touching note because it plays into a theme that the movie seems like it's going to stick to throughout about how, like, you can't focus too much on the future or on the past. You have to focus on here and now. You have to be in the present. And they had if they had stuck with that and they had ended the movie like I figured they were going to, and like how the graphic novel that this is based on ends, I think it could have ranked as one of Shyamalan's best movies. But then it keeps going and they start explaining more things and it starts to get kind of stupid, and there's a lot of people, given the current state of things going on right now with COVID and whatnot, that are going to be infuriated with a certain reveal in this movie, and I honestly can't blame them. It's pretty weird. I don't know if like, I know he has freedom, but I don't know if it was like a certain mandate that maybe he wanted to leave it unexplained, but then somebody gave him those notes you can't ignore. Like, no, you have to put this in here. There needs to be an explanation, and that's how it happened. I don't know what the thought process was, and I don't know why he decided to leave it in, given what's going on right now, but it really does drag the movie down for me.
Okay. What would your rating be?
Are we doing on a scale of 1 to 10 or?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
I would give it a 6 because there is a lot of stuff that I really did like. Like I said, the filmmaking is terrific. There's some really cool moments. Some of the acting is really good, especially Gael Garcia Bernal and Thomasin McKenzie, like I mentioned. But these little issues with the script keep popping up throughout, and it's easy to ignore it at first because there's so much other good stuff going on, but then it reaches a point to where you just can't ignore it, and it drags the movie down a lot.
Okay. I'm seeing it tomorrow. So, I mean, it's good to hear it is better than Glass. I mean, that is good to hear. It's an improvement at that. And from looking at the trailer, it does look very beautifully shot.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and as far as Shyamalan's other movies, like overall, I'd say I like it more than The Village, but less than Signs. Like, okay. And your mileage is going to vary depending on how much of his typical dialogue and certain other tropes you can stomach.
Because with Signs, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I remember thinking Signs was kind of decent. I can't remember my full thoughts on the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
For me, I don't think I've genuinely liked a Shyamalan movie since Unbreakable. Now, The Visit and Split were kind of what I thought were going to be his return to form.
Yeah. So, I mean, this may be a strange question to ask, but where do you see M. Night Shyamalan going from here after this film? After, Old.
I think he's just gonna keep doing what he's doing. Like, he's already given hints about what his next movie is gonna be. It's based on a book. There's other original stuff that he's doing. And I don't know how the movie's gonna do. I don't think it'll have to make that much in order to make its money back. It only cost $18 million to make, and they make good use out of the money. Yeah, I think as long as he keeps doing what he's been doing and he just keeps self-financing, studios are going to let him make as many movies as he wants until I guess he eventually decides, okay, maybe I need a break or just retire. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
As far as quality, I think at this point it's a crapshoot. Like, he's clearly not going to slow down. He's going to keep doing what he wants, making these weird, crazy movies, and I think sometimes they'll stick and sometimes they won't. And it's going to depend on the person. I just know it. There's already people going back and forth about whether or not this is one of his best or one of his worst.
Okay. Nick, do you have any questions?
No, not really. I'm going to try and watch the movie either tonight or tomorrow and just try and get a genuine impression. Because, Chris, you actually intrigued me because I've been like really hot and cold on M. Night Shyamalan. I still have not forgiven him for The Last Airbender.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't. I think even he's come out recently and said, like, yeah, that was crap. I never should have made that movie in the first place.
The man killed any potential like season 4 or spin-off movies of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and for that, peace was never an option.
Well, I mean, they're gonna make more Avatar. They're gonna make more Avatar stuff. So
Yeah, they are. That franchise is not going away anytime soon.
yeah. Well, thank you, Chris. I don't know if you want to stick around because we're gonna do talk about Snake Eyes, and then we're gonna do some trailer discussions. I don't know if you wanted to stick around for that or just kind of dip out. Come in, review this, dip out. So I don't know. Choice is yours. What you want to do there?
The choice is yours.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to dip out because I'm in my basement right now, and my dog freaks out when she's alone for way too long. So I think I'm going to head out. But next time I'll try to stick around longer. I had a good time, you guys.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to promote? Anything like that? Anything you want to links? Anything like that?
No, I'm not working anything right now.
Okay.
If you want to know what I'm doing in my day-to-day time, which isn't a whole lot, go to my Instagram at chrisayers123.
Okay. All right. And you put up movie reviews there too as well, right? Stuff you see.
Occasionally, when I feel like I've got a lot to say about it, as with Old.
Okay. Yeah. And just like with his, review here, he's very detailed, very good at him. I loved, his review of Old right here. So yeah. Make sure to follow him on IG for, occasional movie review here and there. All right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for coming on.
All right. No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, my man.
Bye.
All right. So
and then there were 2.
Yeah, just thinking that. All right. So for our final movie review of the day, we're going to discuss Snake Eyes, right? The big film. And with Snake Eyes, you starring Henry Golding, Andrew Koji. Henry Golding is playing the titular character of Snake Eyes, who I don't think they ever say his real name. I think they just call him Snake Eyes through the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's a thing from the G.I. Joe comics. He doesn't really get a name besides Snake Eyes.
Yes. And Snake Eyes, some people might know, some people might not know, but he is a character from G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, which was the toy, and then it got turned into a cartoon series. Yo Joe, No One Is Half the Battle, all that good shit. So he's a part of that.
He's got lifelike hair and kung fu grip.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All that good stuff. G.I. Joe was more of an 80s thing. I didn't really grow up with G.I. Joe all that much. I know of it.
Let's be real. G.I. Joe was definitely more of an 80s thing, and it was just a 20-minute toy commercial.
Pretty much. That and military propaganda. So it was pretty much
of course.
Pretty much just that. You also have Andrew Koji here. People might know from Warrior. Nick's, I know he loves that show. He talks about that show excessively.
That show is fucking amazing, first off.
And here he plays Storm Shadow. Now Storm Shadow, he does have a name. They call him Tommy in the film. So they just don't call him Storm Shadow. You also have other G.I. Joe characters in this as well. You have a member from Cobra. You have the Baroness in this.
Baroness, who's played by Ursula Corbero from Money Heist.
Yep. You have her. You also have some more Reaving, who plays Scarlet. So she's one of the Joes that kind of comes in here. So it kind of brings in kind of the world of Joe, G.I. Joe, kind of the little bit of the universe, the lore, because this is Snake Eyes origins, G.I. Joe origins. So everything has to be a universe now these days, and everything since Marvel did it, they were like, well, everybody has to do it. So I'll let you know if this does a good job at setting up a G.I. Joe universe, and whether or not it does a good job at whether or not we would want to see more inside this world here. So with this film, basic kind of setup here. Movie starts off with Henry Golding, little boy, Snake Eyes, and he watches his father get killed in front of him, and then that sets him on a revenge path to basically avenge his father. So it's a nice revenge movie. The movie's kind of interesting in a way that it kind of portrays Snake Eyes even though it's from his perspective, it's you can really look at it like he's the bad guy. And I'll elaborate kind of a little bit on that a little bit, but it kind of very much is he's kind of the bad guy in this situation. And he grows up, and you see him in flashes to when he's an adult. and then he's like fighting in a cage match. Not like Cole Young, where he actually loses the cage match. You actually see him win it.
So Henry Golding actually gets to win a fight.
Yeah, he actually gets to win a fight. So that was actually kind of refreshing to see. So good on them for doing that.
Yeah, but my big question, the question that everybody is wanting to know, is he on a new level?
In some aspects, I believe. I think the action in this movie, which is kind of the main thing. I was kind of looking forward to this because I saw the trailer for this, and I think the trailer was a solid trailer. I think we reviewed the trailer for it. You know what I mean? The few trailers that came out for it, and we were generally kind of positive about it. We was like, okay, this looks pretty cool, especially since you have actual people who really know how to really fight in this. You have Andrew Koji, who's from Warrior. You have the guy from the Raid, Iko.
Iko Weiss playing Hardmaster in this.
Yeah, Iko Weiss. So he's playing Hardmaster in this. So you actually have people who really know what they're doing in terms of that.
People in the second unit directing that really know how to choreograph and perform action. Like the biggest one was Kenji Tanigaki. He was one of the stunt coordinators for the Donnie Yen movie Flashpoint.
Okay, so that's very good trivia. There's very good knowledge there. Yeah. So with this one here, and also Henry Golding, he did a lot of training for it, and worked hard to really get the movements down and everything like that. And I'll play that video of him training in a little bit soon. So here I think a lot of the action is very much handicapped. One, I think it's because it's a PG-13 movie. And I think it feels very much kind of like the early X-Men films when you had before they made Logan and Wolverine was in them, where he's slashing through a bunch of people, but there's nothing that's showing up because it's a PG-13 movie and you can't show any real blood or any real guts or anything like that. So it's just kind of they're just cutting through people and just people are just falling down. So it doesn't look as exciting when something like that happens. So that's what it kind of reminded me of something like that. Like especially since it's set in Tokyo, Japan, it kind of something like the Wolverine. With the Wolverine, had some great action set pieces like the train sequence, and the Wolverine is one of the best action sequences I've seen. It's like in my top maybe 50 of action sequences, maybe top 30. I absolutely love that sequence, but again, nothing. It's a PG-13 movie, just like how this is, and I get it. PG-13 movie, more butts and seats. You want to increase the number of people that you can show it, but you had things that showed an example of if you have an R-rated movie, it can be successful, like Deadpool, like Logan. So, but I guess those are based on popular comic book series, and this is even though this is a known property, I don't know how many real kids know of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, even though G.I. Joe is a known property, we had a couple movies for it in the late 2000s, both Rise of Cobra and Retaliation. They did, I think they did fairly okay at the box office, but I think they're so critically reviled that a studio would be hesitant to take a huge risk and do something a little more experimental with it. What I feel like you're asking them, make it a little more rated R, go a little bit harder with the action.
Yeah, because I think they're handicapped by that. Because I think that's the reason why a lot of the action is so close up as it is in some sequences. Because some sequences they're very kind of close up, and I think that's to not show as much kind of violent things. It's like, okay, we're trying to do the best we can with kind of having it be a PG-13 kind of experience. So I think that's what kind of hinders it a little bit because like I said, you got people who really are training for this, who've been doing this, like Andrew Koji, and I think that kind of hinders some of the aspects of the film. And you could have some really cool sword fights and everything like that, but it's just some of the shots kind of very, very close together that kind of just holds it down.
That's a little disappointing to hear, but
yeah. And eventually, when Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and if people have watched the series of G.I. Joe before, they know that it's this intense rivalry that both Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow have, this long-standing rivalry. And this film kind of starts off with kind of shows them as being kind of almost brothers in a way. And so how are things going to develop to eventually land people where they are supposed to kind of be in the G.I. Joe universe. And I think the path to that is a little very clunky because when Henry Golding's, when Snake Eyes, when he goes to Storm Shadow, and you see when he goes to meet his clan and his family, it's a lot of exposition. It's a lot of Storm Shadow explaining a lot of stuff to him and his character, to Snake Eyes, and it's just kind of like, okay. I mean, I like it better when you just kind of punching people. I'm not sure how much this is very much sustainable. And I think, Andrew Koji, he's got great charisma about him. I mean, even without saying...
Oh yes. Yeah, even in Warrior, the guy just bleeds charisma.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you can, his drip also in this movie, immaculate. I mean, the suits, you know what I mean, is absolutely immaculate in this. It's very impressive to watch. And, I think he's very cool to see on screen. And then when he's in the fight scenes, they do some cool kind of poses and everything like that, very stances with the swords that I think are very nice, like how he has his own fighting style with the two swords, and then your Snake Eyes with just the one sword. So I think they kind of differentiate those two. The main villain of this is just kind of basic villain. I mean, there's really nothing to write home about the villain. He wants to destroy Storm Shadow's clan and get this magic jewel and this special kind of rock, and then he'll kind of like almost like an Infinity Stone type thing, and he wants to kind of destroy the clan. It's like, okay, all right, okay, there's really nothing to write home about him that's anything special, anything kind of memorable. I think that the kind of other characters here that are involved, as far as when he goes to Snake Eyes goes to Storm Shadow and meets his clan, and you have these other members there like Iko Weiss, who is one of the trainers there, Hard Master. He's the hard ass trainer that is really pushing the Snake Eyes character because he has to pass these 3 trials, these 3 challenges in order to become a member of the clan, and he's one of the people that he has to face, and get over to challenge. Okay, you've kind of seen that. You have a black character here, who's like the blind master. Thank God it's not RZA. RZA's he's not reprising his role as the blind master from, I think it was like G.I. Joe. I think it was
it was Retaliation.
It was the
second G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it was the second one. So thank God he's not reprising his role there. And so you kind of have those kind of elements of a familiar, kung fu kind of story like that, or martial arts kind of story, or very much that are very kind of similar to that, which is fine if you were able to elevate it with the superb action and with the levels it kind of can take into. And I just don't think it does that. I think it kind of hangs around mediocrity territory, which is a shame. Because, like I said, you have the talent there behind the camera, in front of the camera, to really do this, to make this a special action movie. And a lot of scenes, like you saw in the trailer, the scene on the highway, right, could be a really great scene. I think it was fine. I think a lot of the action scenes in here are perfectly well enough. But it's like if you could do way more, like, something comparable, even above the level of like John Wick 3, which I thought the action in John Wick 3 took the action in the first 2 much above them as well. The stuff they did with the knife fights, the gun fights, he kills a dude with a book. I mean, you know what I mean? The stuff they took things to a whole new level. What were you going to say?
Oh, so you're saying they don't get to a new level? No,
they don't, unfortunately. They kind of just hang around the same level as most action movies kind of do, with a little kind of touches here and there. So they need to change the song that they use in the trailers now. Yeah, just same level. So it's just unfortunate that I feel like this really could have been a really great action film that really kind of set apart. I mean, it's fine if you have a stupid plot and you have a weak villain, but the action was just the main important thing you really had to nail, and you didn't do that. As far as as let's say what I want to see another movie, in the G.I. Joe universe, because they do set up. There's a stinger. So, it comes really quick. It's like mid-credit stinger in this. They kind of set up for other things, in the future. I don't think it's too ham-fisted in a way, I think, of introducing the stuff. I think it kind of is fine, the way they introduced the whole, the Joes, the way they introduced. And I'm not saying other Joe characters come in here. I'm saying the G.I. Joe kind of universe. I think they do it well, like the Cobra and everything, of introducing those kind of elements.
So between like a MCU universe building versus something like Amazing Spider-Man 2, what would you say? Because Amazing Spider-Man 2, that was the clunkiest shit I've ever seen.
It's a little bit better than, I'd say it's not I mean, because the characters like the Baroness, she's working with the main bad guy you see in this. And I don't know if the main bad guy is a part of G.I. Joe lore or, the kind of stuff, so I don't know. But, she's working with him. That kind of makes sense because Cobra is a far-reaching criminal organization that has its hands in everything. Kind of like you see like in Daredevil, The Hand or something like that, or a lot of criminal organizations and fiction and stuff like that. They have a lot of kind of, plants everywhere and people everywhere. So that kind of made sense for her to be there, and then it made sense for Samora Weaving, who I like Samora Weaving. I loved her in the movie, Ready or Not. She comes in here.
Oh yeah, Samara Weaving. She's just waiting on that big breakout role to get to the A-list.
Yeah, so her coming in as Scarlet, that makes for her, sense for her to kind of come in there. So I don't think it's too ham-fisted in a way. And people probably kind of thinking with the Snake Eyes character. The Snake Eyes character, they make changes to him obviously because in the cartoon he didn't talk at all. He never talked.
Yeah, and in the comics, he's fully on white.
Yeah, so they do some, Asian washing here, I guess. I don't know, but not really, no, because that's not a real thing. But is Henry Golding?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson begs to differ, but yes, Henry Golding. He's a Malaysian Chinese, a Malaysian and British.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering that real quick, but yeah, so with the character, so it would have been actually I would have kind of thought it'd been kind of funny if they did something like Hardcore Henry, where they just didn't have him talk at all still, and then they just kind of just did action around them. That'd have been kind of funny if they attempted to do something like that. But I still do really like Henry Golding, as Snake Eyes. Because I think what happens in the movie. And if you see it, you'll kind of understand why I said at the beginning why you can almost see why he's kind of the bad guy in this situation, and not Storm Shadow. But I really like Andrew Koji as Storm Shadow. I think would I want to see a sequel if you improve the action, if you make it R-rated, yes. You know what I mean? If you kind of do that. As far as more movies in the G.I. Joe universe, like if they do, I don't know who's like another big character they could do, base it off of G.I. Joe. I don't know, like Roadblock. I don't know. Because I know The Rock played Roadblock in either the second G.I. Joe Retaliation. I don't know if you would want to come back and reprise it. But if you would want to do something like that, maybe. Depends on what you kind of do with it. And if they can make maybe each movie different from one another, as far as tone and said, I don't know, maybe you could make it work. But I am, kind of interested in that relationship between Storm Shadow, between Snake Eyes, because Storm Shadow has, in this movie, he has a good reason to hate him, for sure. So for me, I would give it maybe 5.5 out of 10. I think it's just kind of just right around that territory, just kind of mediocrity there. Kind of just fine. I mean, it's just, I think, if you just had so much better action sequences, this could have been maybe something better. I really do feel like that. So it's a shame that I think this could have gone to a new level for sure. For sure. So yeah. So for me, 5.5 out of 10. All right. So, moving on from discussing that, didn't you say you were going to bring on somebody for the Miranda Maverick fight companion?
Yeah, that's tomorrow, dude.
Oh, so are you doing something tomorrow? I thought you said Brad.
Yeah, I thought we were. Yeah, I thought we were doing it tomorrow, like live reaction during the fight.
Oh, live reaction during the fight. Okay, yeah, we can do that. What time is the fight tomorrow?
The card starts at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we can do that. Okay, I have to just check. So I'll just move some stuff around. All right.
And I think Miranda's going to be either the first or second fight on the card.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that tomorrow then. Okay, so we'll just go into the trailers and then we'll just head out. So we'll do quick news first. So Leslie Grace, has been cast as Batgirl in the HBO MAX series. Film. I'm sorry. And so she's been cast there. And so apparently there's been a lot of controversy with this casting. You might have seen Leslie Grace recently. She was in the movie In the Heights, the movie that Nick and Chase hated on very much.
I like that fucking movie. Chase was the one hating on it.
Okay, so Chase is the hater of nice Latino pride. Let that be known. So she's a Afro Latina, so this kind of falls in line more with their casting of Commissioner Gordon, because Jeffrey Wright is going to be Commissioner Gordon in the Batman film, directed by Matt Reeves and starring Robert Pattinson. So this kind of falls more in line with that casting, which was kind of our initial thought when they said they were going to do a Batgirl movie. It's like, okay, well, who, is Batgirl going to be white? Is she going to be black? Because, obviously, you know what I mean, Commissioner Gordon, is now white, but then J.K. Simmons also played Commissioner Gordon in the Justice League movie, so I guess they're just doing away with that. So DC is very confusing in a lot of stuff, so I guess they're just doing away with all that stuff. I don't even know.
So you know how Marvel, like, every single thing that they do is meticulously planned down to detail. Even new movies are calling back to shit that they did like 10, 12 years ago. Yeah. DC is like, we don't do that here.
Yeah, pretty much. And with Leslie Grace, I haven't seen In the Heights, so can't really judge her performance there. And how old is she, by the way? Because I wonder if they're going forward. Because usually when I see Barbara Gordon, she's usually someone a teenager to her 20s. And she's 26 years old, so she's 26. So, what do you think about this casting news? Since you are someone who did see In the Heights and you did like the performance, you did like the film.
I thought her performance was fine, but there was so much else going on within the Heights that she didn't really get a chance to shine. She didn't get a chance as much of a chance to shine, really. And the movie version, they cut out a key plot point from the stage production about her father, who in the movie is played by Jimmy Smits, not approving of her dating Benny, who's a character that is not Latino. And that was a huge plot point from the stage version that was cut out of the film. I thought she did okay with what little screen time she had in the song and dance numbers. She's incredible, and I don't think she's been in another movie, but just off that performance, I'm curious. I'm cautiously optimistic about this Batgirl movie.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to see more from, because I got to see how she does in the film, and I am going to watch In the Heights and see how she does in that film, and see how she does and performs. And I mean, DC, like I said, very confusing on what they do and a lot of stuff that they do, and I guess they are going with that kind of tone with it. Of course, some of the reaction has been a little bit negative. People, don't even probably know this one. Most majority of people probably don't even know her. Judging her already on that. So
yeah, they just took one look and said melanin.
So
yeah, but I am excited because it's directed by the same duo that did Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah,
which is a movie that, by all accounts, should not be good. That should not have worked as well as it did. Yeah, it's Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who did Bad Boys for Life, and it's written by Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee, who wrote Birds of Prey for DC.
Yeah, and I like Bumblebee. I like Birds of Prey. I genuinely like those films pretty much. So these are the people who were basically up for the role that they were testing to be Barbara Gordon. So it was Lou Richardson. I don't know if you know who she is. There was Zoe.
Haley Lou Richardson, who's a lot of supporting roles. She was in Unpregnant, another movie on HBO Max. That's incredible. Also in the running was Zoe Deutsch, who, for a lot of people, she was the favorite to be picked for that.
Yeah. What has Zoe Deutsch been in, you said?
Zoe Deutsch is, the biggest thing that she's been in was Zombieland 2. And she was kind of like the ditzy blonde character.
Oh, okay. She was that. And you also have Isabelle Merced?
Yeah, Isabella Merced, who was live-action Dora the Explorer.
Oh, okay. And she was in also in the Terminator movie, Dark Fate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she was also in that.
That wasn't. Was that her?
Yeah, I want to
I
say
don't think that was her.
that wasn't her.
No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't her. She was in. No, she was in the one of the Transformers movies.
Transformers Last Night. She was in that. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, she was in that. So out of those women that were casted, were you you were thinking Zoe Deutsch was gonna get it? Were you thinking Lou Richardson was gonna get it?
I thought that it was pretty much a toss-up with any of them, but out of all of them, I thought Zoe Deutsch would have been the perfect casting. But I'm not mad at it. It's like if you want to take this character in a different direction than what we're used to seeing, then fine, okay. Just don't let her fuck Batman in her movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there was also somebody else that somebody was also like, how the internet usually fan cast people and things like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like Alison Brie or was it Gillian Robertson? I forgot the actress. Like a lot of people were like, this is a clear choice. I forgot who it was, who they were saying. Like a lot of people were fan casting. That people wanted this Batgirl, but yeah. Like I said, Bad Boys. It's got good talent behind it, which gives me hope. Like with the Bad Boys for Life direction, because that movie it was a lot better than it had any right to be, for sure. And like I said, the writer, I don't know. Some people might be paused with Birds of Prey. I know some people have an adverse reaction to that movie, but I thought Birds of Prey was fine. I thought that was an okay movie, and I really did like Bumblebee a lot. So we'll see. And we're gonna see it on HBO Max. Check it out, the Barbara film. It's just interesting to see them do a Batgirl movie without doing kind of without setting her up in Batman first, since she's a Batman character. But okay, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll definitely see how it goes. All right. So moving on from discussing that. So real quick, we're just gonna discuss because this is been out for a while now. And so the Korg and kind of Deadpool, them kind of reacting to the Fall Guy movie.
Free Guy.
Free Guys.
The new movie that stars both Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi.
Yeah, both them. It has a nice opening, with them kind of going back and forth. And this is the third film they've been in together? Because
it's either the first or second. I don't know if Taika, because I know they were together in Green Lantern.
Yeah, and I want to say they were in something else together. I can't remember what it is. Because the thing I remember they were in together, they were making a joke about them being in Green Lantern together. So I was trying to remember. I was like, because they were making a joke, but I guess maybe this is just the second film they've been in together. And they kind of open up, which is pretty nice. And it's funny because here, Taika Waititi, who's voicing Korg, and when Deadpool asks him, well, how's like working for Marvel? And he's like, oh, well, it's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden you get an email, then you're chilling. And it kind of reminded me of like, maybe that's what happened when Disney got those photos of him and Rita Ora and another woman. It's like Disney sent him an email like, hey brother, we got to talk to you. Come to the office now. And he's like, I'm on vacation. We don't care. You need to come in now. Come in. Yeah, but it's COVID. We don't care. You gotta come in. So I got to get that call.
You gotta be wholesome and shit.
Yeah.
We've reacted to that picture. The only thing I'm mad about that is that I'm not in it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's Disney for you. So what did you think about? So first of all, are you excited for the Free Guy movie at all?
Initially, I was, but I think a lot of the stuff that they're going to be referencing in that, like a lot of the like toxic gaming culture, I think a lot of that has kind of gone past its sell-by date. I'm still curious to watch it, but I also feel like it's been delayed for so long that honestly, people might just stop caring. I am curious. I do like Ryan Reynolds a lot. I think he's got a whole lot of charm, and I can't wait to see him working with Taika Waititi again. They're both really fun. They have great chemistry. Just even off of this little video online of them reacting to the trailer.
Yeah. Do you think? Because some people were saying like it really it seems like they're doing more like advertising like a Korg Deadpool thing rather than the Free Guy thing. Like it seems like
that's exactly what it is. Because I feel like Reynolds is a very smart dude. He knows that even after it got pushed initially, people aren't really talking about Free Guy. So he has to attach it to something else, like say, hey, we got very much like how they sold the Hitman's Bodyguard with, hey, it's Deadpool and Nick Fury together. Now, hey, Deadpool and Korg in a movie together.
Yeah. Yeah, so because it seems like it's kind of more taking away attention from the actual, Free Guy movie, and that it's like, well, it's kind of pimping more of a, kind of core Deadpool thing. And like I said, this is a movie that I guess they have to really trying to raise more attention to it because it is coming out next month. And like I said, it has, issue with a lot of movies. It's been delayed. It's been just delayed and, delayed. So, it really doesn't want it to suffer, a lot of kind of it tanking because of that. The movie looks interesting. I mean, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this looks fun. This looks like a good concept. Even though the concept, it seems like a lot of people are kind of doing that concept now quite a bit and other stuff. So I think as far as generating interest for the movie Free Guy, I don't know. I think more people just generally, more interested in just Deadpool and Korg, more or less. I think that kind of takes attention away from it, me personally. Yeah. But, Free Guy's coming out August 13th, so, not that far away. And I think it's only going to come out in theaters, correct?
Yeah, it's, like, only coming to theaters, that they've said.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. So, moving on from discussing that, before we discuss high art cinema, we're going to discuss Dune. You know what I mean? We're going to discuss that.
Yeah, that nerd shit.
Yeah. Save the real great stuff, Jackass Forever, for the last. So, with Dune.
Save the cinema.
Yeah, so with Dune here, this is the second trailer that came out. And it looks absolutely stunning. I mean, a lot of Denis Villeneuve movies look absolutely stunning. He hasn't missed yet, I feel like, in any of his movies. A lot of his stuff is always so gorgeous and beautiful works. I mean, Blade Runner 2049, I love that movie so much. Here you see, so this is more of a story trailer, because this is quite a bit of a long trailer. It's 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's quite a bit of a chunky trailer there with a lot of stuff built into it. What do you think about the trailer?
Echoing a lot of the things that you were just saying, it's one of the best looking trailers that I've ever seen. I don't know a whole lot about Dune. I don't know much of the story really, but I know it's been the inspiration for a lot of modern sci-fi. And my concern with this, very much like with John Carter, how that inspired stuff like Flash Gordon, how that inspired Star Wars. Once you get the actual adaptation of where those movies' inspiration came from, is it just going to feel like cliche?
Yeah. That's
once you see it in this modern context.
Yeah, that's kind of the concern, is that, like you said, this thing, Dune, classic sci-fi series, very much inspired a lot of modern sci-fi things. But the thing is, all the other kind of things that inspired it has already come out. So now that it has a chance to come out, people are like, yeah, I've seen this already. But it's like, no, but this kind of did it first, though. This, you know what I mean? So this is important. But I think, first of all, this is a movie I would love to see in IMAX. This has to be seen in IMAX in the theaters. And I understand Denis Villeneuve. He was one of those people that was very avid, like him and Christopher Nolan. Like, no, my movie must go to theaters. It has to go to theaters. There's no other option. It's not. It can't go on any other platform. It's like, well, it's it can also go on a streaming service. Like, no, fuck that. No, absolutely not.
No.
And it looks. It looks gorgeous. You obviously want people to fully appreciate it and its beauty, I think. But a lot of people have great home entertainment systems with nice big screen TVs, with nice surround sound systems that they could also really enjoy. It can compare to the huge movie theater screen. Not really, but you know what I mean? But, you can still get a very great experience at home watching a film. And you see, seems like, Action wise, I don't know how much is going to be there for people to kind of keep their interest filled, but they try to throw that in there for people who go like, well, because usually mostly heady, Lena Headey kind of sci-fi films.
Lena Headey.
You know what I mean? No, I'm just making a joke about the way we said
Lena Headey sci-fi films.
Yeah. Mostly they don't do that well in box office, like Blade Runner 2049, Arrival.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, both of those movies bombed.
Yeah,
financially, but they were just so critically adored that Villeneuve has just continually been getting a shot. He's even with the not financial success, he can get much more buzz at the Oscars. He's like one of the few guys that can put out a $200 million blockbuster and get the attention from the Academy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of, I mean, his absolute just, I mean, critics love him, so that's what kind of keeps him kind of around for a lot of people. And this movie's coming out October 22nd. It's doing a simultaneous, so it's doing theaters and it's doing HBO Max. So you will get a chance to kind of do
honestly, I think it, depending on how far along we are with the widespread vaccinations in the States, I think it's going to do better on HBO Max.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have done better on HBO Max anyway, even if there wasn't, because I think it's just more accessible to watch there. And plus, it's going to be a long movie. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is not known for making short movies. I mean, it's going to be...
No, the man cannot make a movie that's under 2 hours.
Yeah, so this movie's 2 hours and 35 minutes. Yeah, so it's so I think it'd be better.
That movie thick.
Yeah, so like seeing it at home streaming, it's like, okay, somebody could pause it, get back up, stretch, walk around, get something to eat, come back, play on their phone for a little bit, then go back, as opposed to just sitting there all the way through. You know, I mean, people can just kind of take breaks kind of in it, as opposed to doing that. And especially since the thing it's going up against, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you know, maybe more people gravitate towards that. But I would love to see Dune. I mean, it'd be absolutely amazing if this movie made like $800 million, and it'd be like, oh, you know, this huge success.
Yeah. Keep in mind, even though I'm criticizing the release strategy, I'm saying it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be financially a hit. I want this movie to do well. Yeah. I want to see more heady sci-fi stuff like this. I want to see guys like Denis Villeneuve. I want to see them kind of do what Christopher Nolan used to do, a lot of that, and you know, have his movies make sense. Yeah. Looking at you, Tenet.
I still haven't seen Tenet yet.
It's not good.
Okay, I still haven't checked it out yet.
It is not a good movie.
Yeah. So, you know, this is what, you know, way back when this movie was announced and when I saw the first trailer, this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Still one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I really can't wait till it comes out and things like that. So. I'm excited.
Same. It's got one of the best casts I've seen in a modern blockbuster. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Rebecca Ferguson. It's like that. I'm pretty sure like at least $150 million of the budget went to just getting everybody in the cast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely can't wait for this. This is going to be good. I think it's going to be really good. I mean, Denis Villeneuve hasn't missed yet for me, so can't wait.
Yep, same.
All right, so our final thing of the day, final topic, we're going to discuss the Jackass Forever trailer.
We're getting that real hard-hitting cinema.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking around with us, but now we get into the real shit.
Yeah, the hard-hitting cinema that hits you right in the balls, right there. Absolutely. So here, you have the Jackass crew back again, except minus Bam Margera.
Do you know the story that with Bam, why he's not coming back?
Well, so I was looking at some stuff, looking at some videos. So they say Bam Margera. So he was initially slated to be in it, and he was on set and everything like that. But he was only, you know, conditioned to be there if he did certain things, like if he took regular drug tests. Like if he stayed sober, you know, so that was kind of the condition in order for him to be in the movie.
So
Okay. Apparently he didn't follow those conditions, and I know that Bam Margera, he's been falling pretty hard, and he's been kind of suffering from addiction for a while, especially after the loss of his friend Ryan Dunn, who was another Jackass member, and so I know that it's kind of been hitting him pretty hard. He's been kind of spiraling a lot, and so one of the conditions he had to be on there was that he had to kind of be sober, and he had to kind of agree to those conditions. Also see a psychologist as well, a therapist, and things like that. And apparently he wasn't following those.
And especially with just even Steve-O's past troubles with addiction, I'd understand putting those conditions on coming back to doing this one.
Yeah. And Bam made an IG post about it. I think he was like on IG Live, made an IG video about it, about saying like, he blames, Johnny Knoxville, and I think he said another guy for why they're not letting me in Jackass, and I want to be there, but like guys like Johnny Knoxville, they're against me and things like that. They're after me. And then Steve-O, he commented and said that it's like, no, I mean, they've actually been in your corner a lot, just like how they were in my corner, because like you brought up, Steve-O had suffered from addiction before in his life, and he was down a spiral, the same thing, and with the help of Johnny Knoxville and the crew, he was able to come back. And he says like, well, that's just not a true friend, is somebody that's not going to let you just do whatever and just hurt yourself. So we're doing it because we love you. That was kind of basically initially what he said. So that's kind of the reason why you don't see Bam there here. So in the trailer, now these guys, a lot old, like they said, they're in their 40s now, and they're still doing dumb shit, still doing stupid shit, still all the way up into their 40s.
Honestly, I'm amazed. That they haven't died in the process of making one of these movies.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they certainly come close a lot of times for sure. And in the trailer, you see, because sometimes they'll bring in other celebrities into the drama too. Mm-hmm. So like here, you have like Eric Andre. You got
you see Eric Andre, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep, Machine Gun Kelly. I think in other films, like Britney Spears made an appearance, and I think it was the third one.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, she did the one where it was the porta potty, where they like slingshot the porta potty in the air, and then all the shit just flew on there. Like she did that one. I think.
Jesus. Yeah, I make no mistake. I got to see Jackass 3 in theaters, and to this day, it's been one of my favorite experiences at a cinema.
Yeah.
Even no matter how gross the movie got, because I think in the third one there's like a stunt where they like drink sweat, and I had to walk out of the theater for a minute. It was like,
there's a lot of moments where it'll test your gag reflexes. Like one of mine was, so they did this like they tricked Johnny Knoxville, and they had been swapping out his lotion with horse semen. And so, like, all this time, like, he was like, yeah, I've been putting it on my face all this time. And I thought that just, like, it had, and I was like, I thought it was weird how all stringy it was like that. I just thought that it just got like that because it was, like, sitting out in the sun for all that time because I had it in the car. He was like, oh, shit, it was like all this time. And they played that joke in front of him. I think it was during the Jackass 3 premiere. They opened it with that joke, and he had no idea. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought that was weird. Yeah, like it was all stringy like that." And he was like, "I've been pouring horse semen on my face this entire time." It's like Jesus. There's a lot of stuff like that. That just like, oh man. And they seem like they're bringing back some classic kind of gags like the hand, like that's been in a lot of these Jackass movies.
That was one of my favorite gags in the third one.
Yeah, that
slingshot.
I remember the high five, and then somebody just comes in and says, "Hey man, high five," and then bam, just whacks him with the hand. I just think, that is pretty funny. That just gets me. I mean, it's like, oh, that's funny. What did you think about the trailer, man?
I think it did a good job of showing some of the more what I think are going to be some of the highlights of the stunts in this. Like, it's the one that got me was the one where they like shoot Johnny Knoxville out of a cannon, and I'm curious to see if this is just the trailer that they're showing us. What else are we gonna see? Because I heard rumors that For one stunt in the movie, they got the UFC heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou to come in and punch them in the dick.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And Ngannou's got the hardest punch in according to the UFC's metrics, he's got the hardest punch in all of the UFC.
Cool. And I wonder because there's a moment in this trailer where a woman like throws a softball, like throws a ball like all the way in the. She's probably like a professional softball player.
Oh, she's a professional softball player, and I just love the look of.
Yeah, so yeah, professional softball player throwing nuts. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, she's like a professional because they'll do that. They'll bring in also professional athletes to hurt them as well. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was a point in time, maybe when I was like a teenager, where I kind of looked my nose down, like, why are people watching this dumb shit? This is so stupid. Oh my god.
I was like that too until I got to see Jackass 3D in the theater. And just see how much fun everyone was going, laughing, dying. And honestly, the end credits of the third movie where it had that great Weezer song, Memories. And I don't know, it made me nostalgic for a time that I wasn't around. Because I think I'd watched the first two Jackass movies, but I watched them on like Comedy Central or on like DVD.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of the same way because I think Jackass 3 turned me. I think I saw it on streaming later or TV, and then I was just like, oh, these are really funny. I mean, some of the gags they do, especially Johnny Knoxville, like he basically is trying to bring cartoons back to like just in live action, like Looney Tunes cartoons. Action.
That's essentially what Jackass is. It's like live action Ren and Stimp. It's live action Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah, pretty much, and you see that because like one of the opening gags here in the trailer you see is when they do the like a fake background, and then the guy's random they think he's gonna go and bam runs in the background. I mean that's just classic. I mean that's just cartoon classics right there. So yeah, when is this movie coming out? I think I missed the release date on it.
Jackass Forever. It's October 22nd.
Oh yeah, same day as Dune. Right, forgot. They're battling it out. Same day as Dune.
Oof.
Yeah. So yeah, Jackass 22nd. So yeah, can't wait, man.
Ooh, what's gonna win, CTE or Denny Villeneuve?
Oh yeah, Denny Villeneuve. What if he just quits directing? Jackass 4. He makes all his money, he blows his movie out of the water. He's just like, you know what? I'll quit. I forget it. I'm trying to make these amazing films.
I'm an artist. Damn it!
And then he just gets blown out of the water. Like, oh jeez. All right, so. We are going to get out of here, people. It was a good show today discussing Snake Eyes. We discussed that, reviewed that. We also reviewed Zola, very great A24 film. We also took a look at Gunpowder Milkshake, the Netflix film. Had some thoughts about that as well. And we also did some big trailer discussions with Jackass Forever, with Dune, Korg and Deadpool. Basically doing a reaction to, their reaction of Free Guy, I'm sorry.
It's that gag from Bo Burnham special. It's a reaction to a reaction to a reaction.
Yeah. Somebody should just keep it going. Somebody should react to somebody reacting to Korg and Deadpool reacting to Free Guy. They should just keep it going and then just keep it going and going and going. Somebody should just do that. You know what I mean? They just keep it going and going. And we also discussed Leslie Grace as Batgirl in the upcoming HBO Max film. All right, people. That was a great show, and we're going to head out of here. Nick, where can people find you?
You can find me, Twitter, Instagram, at Night and Day Nick. And, oh my god, we got a special guest that just hopped up. Bubbles.
Nice.
You can follow her, Instagram, at bub.bles0922.
Awesome.
Where can you find us, Josh?
You can find us on Instagram at Afternoon Tune. You can also check us out on Facebook at The Afternoon Tune. You can also find us on Twitter at The Afternoon Tune, putting out hot takes, updates and all that stuff like that of our shows. You can also discover us, of course, you're watching us on Twitch, so twitch.com/TV/The Afternoon Tune. You can check us out there, follow us there, get the follows up, trying to get affiliated, do all that good stuff. You can also check us out on YouTube. 100 subscribers now, trying to build up to 200. So do that good stuff, like, subscribe, comment, getting some comments, always respond back if you want to. Check us out there, youtube.com/The Afternoon Tune. Just type in The Afternoon Tune. We are everywhere you listen to podcasts, so like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. We're everywhere there. Check us out there. We're also on TikTok, putting up clips of our shows on TikTok. So if you're there, check us out as well on TikTok at TikTok, The Afternoon Tune. Just basically everything Afternoon Tune, The Afternoon Tune. You will find us on all those platforms. You know what I mean? And if you want to send us an email, theafternoon@gmail.com as well. And with the Apple Podcasts, don't forget to always kind of leave a comment and give a 5-star rating if you want to. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some feedback, even if it's not a 5-star rating. Just kind of let us know what we can improve upon there. So, having said that, we are going to be out of here, people. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the guests we had. Thank you for Adrian. Thank you for Rose. Thank you for Chase.
Adrian, Rose, Chase, Tibi, and Cedes.
Yeah, thank you for them.
Tibi,
I don't.
Ayers coming on.
Yeah, Chris Ayers reviewing Old for us. I don't know if TB's gonna be back. Enjoyed having him on. Loved having him on. He's a great guy, really great guy, really funny. Really really good voice on the pod. So hope to have him back. And Cedes, I'm trying to think when she'll be back. I think I got something else, but I'm trying to see. But Rose will be back to review the Suicide Squad with us. Which is coming up August 6th. All right. So, to all you people out there, hope you enjoyed listening. And don't forget to always stay tuned.
Before we head out, tomorrow we're doing a live fight companion for the UFC card that's gonna start 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be watch along with us on ESPN.
Yep. Okay. Great stuff.
Yep. Reacting to a friend of the show, Miranda Maverick's fight. You can follow her Instagram at @FearTheMaverick_HOMT.
Okay.
And she's fighting number 15 ranked Macy Barber tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a good fight. It's supposed to be a really, really good fight, heavily contested. I'll make sure to put on my Miranda Maverick shirt right there. I'll make sure to do all that.
Yeah. I'll make sure my Miranda Maverick shirt is out of the dryer by then.
Yeah. All right, people. Love you for you joining us. And don't forget to always stay tuned.